Question 1. If the center of the circle is, this is the point, and it passes through the origin, then equation of its tangent at the origin is. So here we have a circle on the graph having center point as -6 and 8. So first of all, we will have a circle, and here the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocal. This is the concept that we will use here to solve it. Now slope of the radius to the origin is y over x, so 8 over -6 gives you slope of the radius to origin. Now we know that slope of a tangent to a line is the negative reciprocal of the perpendicular, so we will invert it. It is 6 over 8. Then the equation of line is given by, this is the equation, the tangent equation, y equal to mx plus c. C is the y-intercept, which is 0 here because y equal to 0. Therefore, placing the values, we get y equal to 6 over 8x. And when we simplify it further, it is 4y equal to 3x. Just cut it. That was your first question. Second, the liquid is flowing separately through each of the two pipes whose diameters are in the ratio of 2:1. If the ratio of the velocities of flow in the two pipes is 1:2, then the ratio of the amounts of the liquid flowing per second through the pipe will be. So here we will use flow rate equation where the amount flowing through a pipe is given by velocity and the area. This is a pipe, so it will have a diameter, and the area will be given by pi d square over 4. So we'll just put the values here. So if we use first of the diameter is 2, 2 2s are 4, 4 cancels, so area would be equal to pi, and the velocity is 1, therefore it will be pi only. And if I use 1, it would be 1 square into 2, so it will be half in this case. Therefore the answer would be A, 2:1. Question 3rd. If f of x is x plus modulus of x square minus 8, then the derivative of fx at x equal to 3 is. So this is the function, required function. We'll split it by using sum and difference rule. For the x it is 1, the differentiation is 1. For the x square minus 8 under modulus, it would be, by solving it, we'll get 2x into x square minus 8 over modulus of the same function. And when we add the both things, it is this thing. Now we'll plug 3 into the equation, and this is simple. We'll just put the values, and after solving it we get 7. Fourth, given probability of A is 1 over 4, of B is 1 over 3, and probability of A union B is 1 over 2, A or B, and value of B such that A took place is, well, this is simple. First of all, in order to find that, we need probability of A and B, which can be achieved by another formula. So the another formula is this one. So we will place values into it. We are given other 3 values. So just placing the values, probability of A is 1 over 4, probability of B is 1 over 3, and therefore probability of A and B is 1 over 12. Now we will put into the actual formula. This will give us probability of B such that A already took place. So 1 over 12 over 1 over 3 gives you probability of the required answer is 1 over 4. Fifth, the angle between two vectors, these are the two vectors, is, so we have a formula to find the angle. That is, first of all we'll find the dot product. It is simple multiplication between the two vectors. 2 into 2 into minus 1 gives you 3. Then we have to find the modulus. It is simply the under root of addition of the squares. It gives you root 6, like 2 square 4 plus 1 plus 1 6 under root 6. Now simply plugging into the formula, that is dot product over modulus multiplication gives you half. So cos theta is 1 over 2 when degree is 60. Sixth, Newton is unit of force. It is the unit in. Well, we know very well that Newton is the unit of force. So FPS stands for foot, pound, and second. CGS centimeter gram in second, AMKS meter kilogram in second, and standard international. It is just a modified version of AMKS. It just added new items like Kelvin, candela, ampere, and mole to express temperature, luminous intensity, electric current, and quantity of matter. So dyne is the unit in CGS, and in AMKS we have Newton. Therefore, the answer for the sixth question is A, that is AMKS system. Seventh, a farad is defined as, is it static column over volt, column over volt, column into volt, or stat column into volt? So capacitance is the ability of a body to store an electric charge. So C is column here, Q is the charge in coulombs, V is the voltage across a capacitor. Therefore, C is the capacitance. So farad is equal to Q over V, that is coulomb over volt. B is the answer. Eighth, permeance of a magnetic circuit corresponds to the following quantity in electrical circuit, that is equivalent. It is asking for equivalent. So here we have permeance of a magnetic circuit. First of all, it is the quantity of flux for a number of current turns in magnetic circuit, reciprocal of reluctance in a magnetic circuit, and also the analog of conductance in an electrical circuit. And in case of electric, conductance is reciprocal of resistance. It is the ability of body to conduct electricity. So it is clearly visible here that permeance of magnetic circuit corresponds to conductance. Ninth, hydrometer is an instrument for measuring. First is relative humidity, pressure of water, volume of liquids, specific gravity. So this is the first one, that is hygrometer. Hygrometer is used to measure relative humidity, and this is what it looks like. The pressure of water, manometer, or it can also measure the pressure in gases as well. In volume of liquids, we have various things like graduated cylinder, beaker, or a flask. In order to measure specific gravity, we use hydrometer, and this is what it looks like. So the answer here is hydrometer. 10th, radioactivity is a property of, well, it is very easy, it's atomic nuclei. But we will explain it further. Now, what does it mean when something is radioactive? So atomic nuclei that emits particle and energy are said to be radioactive. Here you can see a nuclei, and a particle is emitted here, followed with energy and radiation. So whenever it emits a particle, it is in decaying state. And why does it decay? In order to get stability. So this is the principle of decaying. And the answer for this is your atomic nuclei. That was your 10th. 11th, if a plane is parallel to the plane of projection, it appears true size, as a line or edge, foreshortened, as an oblique surface. Well, the B scenario is our case where we will get true size. Why? Because when you try to look for the plane of projection, it appears to be like true size. That is, our plane appears to be of true size with that plane of projection, whereas it doesn't happen in other cases. This was your 11th. 12th, how is a JK flip-flop made to toggle? Well, toggling is inversing of the output or changing of the output. This is a JK flip-flop with a clock with output Q and Q dash and input J and K. So if J and K are both low, then no change occurs. If J and K are both high at the clock edge, then the output will toggle from one state to the another. That is, it will change from one state to the other. So toggle flip-flop is useful for constructing binary counters, frequency dividers, and general binary addition devices. It can be made from J and K flip-flop by tying both the inputs high. So answer is J and K 1 1. 13th, number of flip-flops used in a decade counter. Is it 3, 2, 4, or none of these? This is a decade counter, and you can easily count the number of flip-flops 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what is a decade counter? Your answer is 4. A decade counter is one that counts in decimal digits rather than binary. That is, it will count from 0 to 9. and it will reset to 0 afterward. 14th, the decimal equivalent of the hexadecimal number E5 is. So these are the steps. First of all, we will write it to the base 16 because it is a hexadecimal number. Then we will write it in the increasing power of expression, like 516 raised to power 0. Then e into, that is multiplied with 16 raised to power 1. And so on, the powers will increase if the numbers would be there. So for e, we have 14. 14 represent e, multiplied by 16 plus 5 into 1. So it gives 224 plus 5, which is 229, and to the base 10. This is the converted number. 15th, which part of the computer is used for calculating and comparing? It's very simple. It is arithmetic logical unit, ALU. This is ALU looks like, and it works like. It has different integer operand, A and B. It takes it, it checks its opcodes, and then status and integer values, so on. So the disk unit. A disk drive is device implementing storage mechanism. Control unit is a component of computer's central processing unit that directs operation of the processor. ALU is a digital circuit used to perform arithmetic and logic operations. Then a modem is a device or a program that enables computer to transmit data over, for example, telephone or cable lines. So the answer is ALU. 16. The CPU processing power is measured in. Its answer is IPS, that is instructions per second. Let's define it. We don't use MIPS these days. So CPU is a clock speed or clock rate is measured in hertz, generally in gigahertz. CPU clock speed, it is measure of how many clock cycles a CPU can perform per second. For example, a CPU with a clock rate of 1.8 gigahertz can perform this much long clock cycles per second. So this was instructions per second is a true measure of computer's processor speed. CIPS is no such term. And MIPS is million instructions per second, or an obsolete general measure for computing performance, because at that point of time, computers used to work in that frequency. Now nanoseconds is 1 billionth of a second. So answer is IPS. 17. Which computer memory is volatile? Volatile is evaporates. It evaporates. So it is RAM, very easy, but let's define it. Volatile memory in computer storage that only maintains data while the device is powered. Most RAM used for primary storage in personal computer is volatile memory. Now what is EPROM? That is erasable, programmable, read-only memory. That is, we can operate on it multiple times. Now PROM only once, that is programmable only once. Instructions can be written by user and cannot be erased from this. Now RAM is random access memory, ROM is read-only memory, RAM is volatile, and ROM is non-volatile. That is, data remains there even when the power is off. And we can read and write both on RAM, whereas on ROM, we can only read the memory. We cannot write through it. So the answer is RAM. 18th. The computer code for the interchange of information between terminals is. It's again simple, ASCII, or it stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Computers can only understand numbers, so as ASCII code is the numerical representation of the characters such as A or any character for that matter. Now BCD. This was your A. Now BCD is binary coded decimal used in computing and electronic systems, is a class of binary encodings of decimal numbers where each decimal digit is represented by a fixed number of bits, usually 4 or 8. Now the last one, EBC, DIC, pronounced as IBSUDEC, that is extended binary coded decimal interchange code. It is a binary code again for alphabetic and numerical characters that was developed by IBM. So A is your answer for 18th. 19th. Which of the following is not a sequential storage device? So first of all, what is sequential storage device? In computing, SAM, that is sequential access memory, is a class of data storage device that reads stored data in a sequence. This is in contrast to random access memory, that is RAM, where data can be accessed in any order. Sequential access devices are usually a form of magnetic storage. But remember, magnetic disk is not a sequential storage device because we have sectors in this, we have various disks and can properly hover to the particular destination and it can go to any of the specified locations. Magnetic tape is a sequential, that is, we have to reach all through the tape in order to get to some particular destination. Same happens in paper tape. Here we have different channels and data rows. We have to go through each one of it. So the answer here is A, that is magnetic disk. 20. The data recording area between the blank gaps on magnetic tape is called. So this is a 9-track tape and you can see here data blocks and we have frames 0, 1, 1, 0, all these. There is a gap that separates data block. So that was asked in this question. So B is the answer. And these are particular records where the actual data is stored. And a database, very well, it is just a storage for the data. 21. On a system flow chart, the online manual keeping of input data is identified by using the. So this is the flowchart symbols, input and output, and online keying is used in order to identify online manual keeping of input data. So B is the answer. 22. An example of hierarchical data structure is. So its answer is tree. Tree has different levels, that is hierarchies. As we have in case of a family, that is grandparents, parents, and children. So here we have levels divided by nodes and the termination by leaves. So it will go through with different levels, whereas it doesn't happen in case of arrays or linked list or rings that was asked in this question. So the answer is tree. 23. Which of the following system software does the job of merging the records from two files into one? Its answer is utility program. So what is a utility program? It is a system software designed to help analyze, configure, optimize, or maintain a computer. So in this case, in merging the records, we are optimizing the records. So this is done by utility program. Whereas security software is just like that handles your credentials, this is login, passwords, and all that stuff. Network software like firewalls, which data has to be allowed, which has not to be. Documentation system is how your computer operates that in documented format. This is your 23rd. 24th, virtual memory is a method of memory allocation by which the program is subdivided into equal portions or pages and code is subdivided into equal portions of block, while it is not the definition of virtual memory, consists of those addresses that may be generated by a processor that maybe, it is saying maybe, during execution of a computation. Well, this is correct. This is the actual definition of virtual memory. It is just the addresses, not the actual memory, and it allows multiple programs to reside in separate areas of code at a time. No, the other options are wrong. This is the right answer. Which is a permanent database in the general mode of compiler? So terminal table is the answer. A terminal table is a permanent table which lists all keywords and special symbols of a language in symbolic form. 26. Operating system functions may include input-output control, virtual storage, multi-programming, all of these. Well, the answer here is obviously all of these. Now we'll discuss other terms. Multi-programming is a form of parallel processing in which several programs are run at the same time on a uniprocessor. That is, single processor, but multiple programs are running. Since there is only one processor, there can be no true simultaneous execution of different programs. Now, virtual storage means that each running program can assume it has access to all the storage defined by the architecture's addressing scheme. This is virtual storage. 27. Moving process from main memory to disk is called, it is swapping. Simple. So swapping is removing of a process from memory to secondary memory and again back to the main memory as per the interrupts. Now CPU scheduling is a process which allows one process to use the CPU while the execution of another process is on hold or in a waiting state due to unavailability of any resource like input, output, etc., thereby making full use of CPU. The aim is just to make system more efficient, fast, and fair. Now we'll do for caching. It describes the use of buffers to separate operations that differ significantly in speed. So the fast one is not held up by the slower one, or at least not as much. This is caching, happens in browsers also. Spooling is a process in which data is temporarily held to be used and executed by a device, program, or a system. Data is sent to and stored in memory or other volatile storage until the program or computer requests it for execution. It is just an acronym for simultaneous peripheral operations online. It is used in printers or slow devices. 28. In which addressing mode the contents of a register specified in the instruction are first decremented and these contents are used as the effective address of the operands. Well, the name itself suggesting it is auto decrement. Here first the instructions are first decremented and then these contents are used as addresses for the operands. 30. The outstanding invoice file should be stored on a pardon access storage device if is it invoice data entries online, payment recording is done in a batch mode, inquiries concerning payable are to be answered online. This is online term, therefore the answer is C. 31st. In SQL, that is structured query language, it commands is used to enable disable database trigger. Alter trigger, yes, this is the answer here. Alter database, in order to alter database, alter table for the table modifications. Modify trigger, there's no such command. It's alter trigger. 32. The modify operation is likely to be done after lookup. That is, if some errors are found, like then delete, insert, that is modification has to be done. This is your 32nd. 33. Which of the following is not a logical data structure? Well, we have to show logics in different structures. The answer is chain. For a tree, there will be a parent-child relationship always. For a relational, there will be some logical query statements. For a network, there will be logical communication like router to router. But for chain, there will be no logical relationship because the nodes are connected in just circular manner. So this is your 33rd, that is chain. 34th. Which of the following tools is used in modeling the new system? Is it decision tables? Decision table, how the tables will be related. Data dictionary, that is metadata, data about data. Then data flow diagrams, how the data will flow, how the statements will go. All of these are used. Well, the answer is D. 35. Difference between decision tables and decision tree is, well, both the things are same, just it is a form of representation. First, we use tables, in other we use trees. This is wrong, C is wrong. Therefore, answer is B. 36th. The reservation system of Indian Railways is an example of transaction processing system, interactive decision support system. Well, answer is A, because here actual transactions take place of money. 37. The network layer in reference to OSI model provide. So what is a network layer? It is a layer 3 Layer 3 provides switching, routing technologies, creating logical paths. It creates logical parts known as virtual circuits, which do not actually exist but these are virtually created for transmitting data over node to node, routing and forwarding of functions are the layer, addressing, internetworking, congestion control, and packet sequencing. So the answer is here, it creates virtual circuits. So C. 38. Which of the following is an important characteristics of a LAN? That is local area network. Application independent interfaces, unlimited expansion, low cost access for bandwidth channels, parallel transmission. The answer is application independent interfaces. LAN provides application independent interfaces. This is your answer. 39. Which of the following TCP/IP protocol is used for transferring electronic mail messages from one machine to another? It is simple. That is C, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So the file transfer protocol, FTP, it is a standard network protocol used to transfer computer files between client and the server. It uses port 21. Simple Network Management Protocol, SNMP, is Internet Standard Protocol for collecting and organizing information about managed devices over IP networks for modifying that information to change device behavior. SMTP is Internet Standard for Electronic Mail. Remote Procedure Call, RPC, is a protocol that one program can use to request a service from a program located in another computer on a network without having to understand the network's details. So C is the answer for electronic mail messages. 40. The slowest transmission speeds are those of, well, it is a function of bandwidth. So twisted pair has the least bandwidth. The answer here is twisted pair wire. Therefore, coaxial and microwave, then fiber optics having highest speed with highest bandwidth. 41. How many digits of the network user address are known as the DNIC, that is Data Network Identification Code? Here, we have IDN, that is International Data Number. It is divided into DNIC and NTN, where DNIC is further divided into LAN and PSN, that is 3 plus 1 digit gives you 4 digits. So it is first 4 digits are for DNIC. 42nd. The most flexibility in how devices are wired together is provided by. It is asking for how devices are wired together. It is bus networks because we have a bus here, a backbone, which connects all the peripherals, which connect all the nodes, and it is very flexible to remove them at any time without much complexity. That is why its answer is bus networks. Whereas other networks are complex. For an instance, if we want to remove a printer, we can easily remove it without much complexity. Therefore, it doesn't happen in case of other networks like ring, star, or T-switch networks. Therefore, answer is bus networks. 43rd. A FM signal contains intelligence in. It is just a simple way of asking that what is FM signal? Well, it uses frequency variations. You can see the amplitude remains the same. There is just a change in frequencies. Therefore, it uses or it contains intelligence in its frequency. Therefore, A is the answer here. 44th. In PCM system, that is pulse code modulation system, a large bandwidth is required. The biggest disadvantage is its incompatibility with TDM. Compounding is used to overcome quantizing noise. None of the above. Well, this is your PCM where we take sampled analog signals that requires larger bandwidth. And the steps are first sampling, then quantization, then coding. So higher the number of samples, higher the quality of conversion. So therefore, we need high bandwidth. The quality of PCM is directly proportional to a large bandwidth. 45th, the all-day efficiency of a transformer depends on, well, in a transformer, there are two types of losses. So the losses in the transformer can be classified into copper losses and iron losses. The copper losses, that is hysteresis and eddy current losses, are independent of the load. Anyways, they are happening all the time. The iron losses, thou, are dependent on the load. So load is always connected whenever we are talking about efficiency, because efficiency of a transformer is output power to the input power. So the answer is both A and B. That is its copper loss as well as its iron loss. 46. Slip rings for induction motor are made up of copper, aluminum, carbon, phosphorus, bronze. Here, this is a motor. This is the slip rings. 3 slip rings in this case. These are made up of aluminum. Carbon is used for the brushes which get in contact with these slip rings. This is your 46. 47. One of the characteristics of a single phase motor is that it's self-starting, it's not self-starting, requires only one winding, can rotate in one direction only. So this is your single phase motor. The box here is a capacitor that makes this motor a self-starting motor. So therefore, this motor is not self-starting. We have to push it firstly in order to move it. So this is not your answer, is self-starting. The answer is not self-starting, is the basic characteristic of a single phase motor. 48. If the input to a differentiating circuit is sawtooth wave, then output will be dash wave. Square, rectangular, triangular, sawtooth. So the answer here is square wave. The output will be square. 49. Which gate acts as universal gate? AND gate, NAND, or XOR? So the answer here is NAND. First of all, what is a universal gate? It is a gate which can implement any Boolean function without need to use any other gate types. Therefore, we have two, that is NAND and NOR gates are universal gates. In practice, this is advantageous since NAND and NOR gates are economical and easy to fabricate and are the basic gates used in all IC digital logic families. This is the symbolic representation of NAND gate, where all the outputs are 1 except 0 when AB are 1, whereas NOR gate is just opposite. It is 1 only when both is 0, rest all outputs are 0. So the answer is B, NAND. 50. A 32-bit microprocessor has word length equal to 1 byte, 2 byte, 4 byte, 8 byte. Well, a computer has a word length of 8 bits. So word length equal to 8 bits and 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. Therefore, when we divide 32 by 8, we get 4 bytes. And that was your last question. That is question number 50.